has a drive, but you may be limited to what you can do. For instance, how much stamina do you even have doing miles and miles compared to a larger breed? Sometimes search and rescue large dogs to get close to an area, and then maybe if it's tight, like in caves or tight areas, whatever, they might use small dogs for that. So you have to look at the physical limitations of the small dogs.
We have the labs for the area search, and then the smaller breeds for the trailing and what's.
It depends. Yeah, it depends on what you're looking at, where some of your urban things it might be easier. I also said he is very friendly, social, but some people are afraid of him, and we see this when we're doing search and rescue work and stuff. We go to parks and stuff with his rescuers, and so I decided, since we're specializing with trailing with Delta, and actually or something, just gives that friendlier. Yeah. You know, so if she runs up to a lost kid, or like I said, in Florida we have a lot of people with dementia or Alzheimer's, and runs up, she'll be less frightened. So I decided to keep natural ears on her just for that reason. So sometimes appearance makes a difference in breed. I said there's some dogs in our group too that are low drive. They're dogs that have been rescued, mixed breeds and stuff that we rescued from shelters, and they're doing the work, but they don't have the crazy drive that this dog has. And so those people have to, they realize it, they can still pass the certification, they have enough drive to pass the certification. But maybe if we're assigned an area, he can do 5 or 10 acres very quickly.
So they
might do 2 or 3 dogs in that area.
So they just get familiarized with what the odor is that comes from bone. Is that like that kind of thing? Because I mean, it's not like you don't give them something and say go.
It's human decomposition. So it's whatever is involved in that process, and it can be in fluids, tissue, bone.
So as you're training them, are you training them? Here is decomposition at 1 month versus 3 months versus
always exposing
20 years.
Different ages and quantities and variety and stuff. There's also several, like Texas has a body farm, and I think North Carolina has at the university. They actually have where they study, and they actually have places where they have full out in the woods and things like that around water, and they have seminars and stuff, and you can bring the dogs in and train them on actual and stuff. So you can go to these so-called body farms and train and stuff like that. So it's always a matter of exposing them to. And I said, I mean, we were at the one camp. They actually had a rug that 10 years ago a child had been rolled up in the rug, and nothing's been in it since. It's in 10 years, and the dog could still pick up the scent off of that from 10 years ago. Wow. And stuff. So you're always looking, and people exchange stores, and you go to work with different groups.
Is there an age that they're too old to do the work?
I'm trying to think of. We have a friend that just lost a dog, but she retired. It was a little sort of hound mix or whatever, like 15. And when it started to not be able to physically do the work. But really, there's no limit on age. So if you have a 7 or 8-year-old dog that's fit, and you can train it in 6 to 9 months to get it certified or whatever, certainly to have a few good years of work time that you can do it, so you don't have to feel like you're limited by age.
Do you do any testing throughout the life of the dog just to make sure the senses, smell senses are still working?
They actually recertify every single year.
So they're testing them for what they're capable of doing every year.
Every single year they have to pass the obedience and the scent stuff. And I said, this is just the human remains. You could decide that this isn't what you want to do. You could decide to do trailing or air scent work. Air scent, the dogs are going out into an area and they're finding any live human in that area. They're not looking for a specific scent. They're just going out and searching that area for anybody. Trailing, they're following a specific odor. So So they're on a leash, and you give them a scent, whether somebody, if you know where the start of the trail is, or somebody from home brought the person's personal belongings, or whatever, to smell or whatever, and they're looking for a specific person. So trailing, but air scenting, they're just going out in a large area and looking for any unit that's alive, type of thing. So that you can choose. What we did with Camo is when we started out, we said, okay, let's, we got together with the search and rescue, tested him in everything, and to see what he's best at, he could do anything. But, I mean, like, we tried trailing, and the guy dropped his hat and ran into the woods and hid. And we showed Camo the hat to see, we were just doing the test, and Camo was only about 9 months old at the time, had never done any trailing, whatever, and he started to follow the scent. He got halfway to the woods and said, wait a second, if I'm looking for this guy, I might as well bring his hat. And he ran back, and we're like, what's going on? He ran back, took up the hat, and then ran into the woods, found the guy, and gave him his hat. All on his own, he figured that out. If I'm going to find the guy, I might as well give him his lost hat.
Oh, that's too cute.
And that was his first attempt at trailing. We tried air scenting, and we tried it all. He just has the drive that it was really a matter of choosing. And in Florida, like I said, there's a lot more call out and demand because the sheriffs have a lot of air scent dogs. They have bloodhounds and stuff in Florida. So there's a lot more demand and need for the human remains dogs. So that's what we started him on first. And I'd also been doing the tracking, and I didn't want to mess up my tracking for my system. So, but now we've started him on trailing. By next year, he'll be certified in both trailing and the puppy. We started her right away. She's doing both. So.
I missed how old he is. Did you say how old he was?
Who, Camo? Yes. He's 2. Yeah, he was 2 in June. So at 18 months, he's certified. So he's only 2, so he's got a long time ahead of him as a worker. Is all our stores. What? He's my first certified. Like I said, I've done a lot of shows and stuff, but he's my first certified. My husband, while he was on the police force, had a bomb dog. So he's done, so that's the same type of scent training and stuff. He had a certified bomb dog.
Don't you think to say that bomb dog also knew how to do shit something? What was he, a golden or a...
Black. Yes. A high drive dog will do anything. So yes, his Labrador Retriever could do fight work and stuff. And it was happy, friendly, and just like he is, happy, friendly dog or whatever. But I am happy to help anybody that wants to get involved or learn about, get started, find clubs. Start off with source once you have your bloodborne pathogen training and stuff like that. Help you with training. That's a hard thing to do, get started. Once you get through, it's a lot of fun. It does, like I said, it takes commitment. But if you're already doing dog training stuff, you've already committed the time and stuff. So, but I had a rough time because I was the only one doing it, finding that information first time. So that's why I tried to compile it for everybody as much as I could. So the Giants were very good. The tester was very, very pleased. And at his age, it's throughout the years.
This work was so intense, would you recommend that if you do try to do this faster, multitasking?
It really depends on your dog. If your dog has plenty of drive, so you don't want to do anything that conflicts. For instance, I don't want him furthering, so I won't do barn hunts. So you have to use some common sense. So even though I love to, we can do it really clean and stuff. I don't want him furthering or out there in the forest, losing track of what his real job is, so we don't do barn hunts. But I've taken him out lifting, so it's good exercise. It's not going to conflict with The same thing, he's got his work clothes, he's got the
Yeah.
one vest for doing the human remains, he's got the one vest, the one harness for when you're doing further. And then he's got his totally different equipment that he uses for search and rescue. And he knows the situation and what he's doing and that type of thing. So, I don't see a problem. If you have a really low right above the part you can do anything, you may be struggling. So, but he is a dog that it takes us 12 hours a day to touch. I mean, it's 8 or 10 miles my husband does with this dog every single day.
How long have you been able to keep a dog going? I mean, obviously, what's the longest lifespan that you've had of it as a working dog? Working career, I should say, not lifespan as a dog. What's been its longest working career?
A giant, as long as it's got good hips and it's healthy and stuff like that. I mean, I've seen Uriel still would do bike work at 11. She loved it. I mean, I wouldn't push her. I wasn't
Right.
letting her go over the A-frame at that age or anything like that. But, go out and do some fun stuff or whatever. At 11, she would still go out and do it. So if they're fit.
Yeah. Again, it depends on the
Right.
good dog.
You have to. In search and rescue, as long as their hips are good and they're fit and stuff like that, they can do it. They might have trouble going up over the files or manipulating things like that, But I think they can live a long time as long as they're fit, like I said. So, watching the waterfall, I think. So. Anything else?
How long did you have Ariel?
What?
How long did you have Ariel?
Uriel we lost it. It depends. Depends on whether the police have a lot. It depends on the number of people. For instance, you get a lot of civil workers and stuff like that. You get out in, let's say we're out in Tennessee, they have a lot of rural areas. They only have a lot. We were staying on a lake this summer in Tennessee, and the year before they had cold dogs out there. Something around the lake, and they had dogs. So they knew that we had to go there.
70.
If they had a drowning, they didn't.
Give or take a pound or two.
Like a monkey stage?
Yeah, no, he's
Generally,
good.
the search and rescue look in specific areas, but then for major situations, they will put out a call to other organizations and stuff that need help, major tornadoes or hurricanes or earthquake situations or like 9/11, those get involved. They can only work so many hours in each break. You need to rotate out dogs and stuff like that. So in situations like that, they can go on. And it depends on whether you're willing to travel. I don't know what it is. I put some business cards up there. I figured it was safe putting business cards because I don't sell companies that have had a litter 15 years. I put my contact information so if anybody wants it, you can have. And I'll help you with getting involved. Yeah.
I'm with her.
Okay. Most, many of you know me already anyhow, so.